Well, good morning. Brian Noble here from Family Policy Institute of Washington. I am so glad that you are here. And this is one of our first shows on pastoring through the primaries. It's going to be one of those times where we talk about how do we select good candidates to make it through the primary to represent we the people the best. Again, I'm with Family Policy Institute of Washington. And if you're not familiar with family policy, we are here to defend and advance biblical values in the public square. So we're going to look at some resources that we've recently developed to help you make it through the primary tension. I don't know how many of you are feeling that tension that's going on between this conservative candidate and that conservative candidate, or all the things that are going on. And I would encourage just to take a breath, step back, and really think about how do we move through this and make a great decision as we go. There's going to be a couple resources that I'm going to be sharing with you. One is when Jesus is not on the ballot, choosing between the lesser of two evils when none of the candidates can walk on water. And so we're going to look at this on the website. This is available at fpiw.org. And then hosting a voting party. And I want you to start thinking about how do I get the next generation to vote? How do I get those around me really stewarding well the public square? So let's open up with a Bible verse out of Exodus chapter 18 today, verse 21. This is Jethro's counsel to Moses, and it says, "Furthermore, you shall select out of all the people able men who fear God, men of truth, those who hate dishonest gain, and you shall place these over as leaders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and tens." So there's four basic things here. It says, out of all the people who fear God, that they're able or they're capable, they're people of truth, they hate dishonest gain, and to place these over the leaders. So that was Exodus 18:21. Want to encourage you to take some time to look at that verse and just really get to know God's word. So let's go over to our website here real quick, and let's check it out here at fpiw.org. We have some new resource. August 6th is the primary, and want to encourage you to get ready to vote. If you're not registered to vote, you need to do that. You can click right here to register to vote. There's about 1,274,000 Washington residents not registered to vote. That's an approximation, but pretty close. And so we need everyone registered to vote, and so I want to encourage you to do that. If you need a reminder, set a reminder to vote. Don't forget, we can send you a reminder to make sure that you're able and willing to vote. And so I want to encourage you to fill out that little form. Now let's talk about researching candidates. First, you're probably going to need to know a little bit about the candidate. And so we've provided a candidate email list. This is a public information, and you can check it out by clicking on this link here. It will take you to one of Washington's websites that has a list of all the candidates and the position that they're running for, their email, and you can begin to interact with them. It has some phone numbers on here as well. And so our proposal is that you begin to understand what races you will be voting on. Don't wait till the last minute on this. I know that when you get your ballot, it can be very overwhelming at times because you're like, who are all these people? I don't even know these people. And you have to decide how to vote for them. So you can research who you'll be voting on. Right here, if you go to the Vote WA, you can sign into your area, get your information, and it will help you to know how to vote. So we believe in asking questions of candidates, of researching, of evaluating. We know that God's going to give you wisdom as you look at these candidates. And so maybe some sample questions that you may want to think about of asking the candidate. We've given you them here on freedom, public safety, immigration, environment, property rights, quality education, parental rights. These are our FPIW's policy, what would you call it, policy or issues that we address or we lobby on behalf of: election integrity, tax control, housing, energy, transportation, homelessness, addiction, religious liberty, biblical marriage, and to protect life. And so we've given you some sample questions. These may change a little bit as we as we go through it. But we want you to start thinking about, when I'm interacting with these candidates, how do I do that? And what questions am I looking for, and am I investigating? So check out some policy questions, and some character questions are there as well. If you scroll down just a little bit further, trustworthy, bold, are they able? And this is from that Exodus scripture. Integrity, hate a bribe. Are they principle-based leadership? Endurance, humility. So there's some character questions as well that you may think about, and rating those candidates. So once you know who your candidates are, and you understand a little bit about them, you may want to email them some of these questions and ask them. Probably not the whole entire list. Make it reasonable that they can answer them. But the issues that are most important to you, you can ask them and check it out. And then get their responses. So then what we do is we give you a resource, and it's right here. It's when Jesus is not on the ballot, and you can begin to kind of vet and measure these candidates on your own. And so we give you our description of these, and then you go, and these are the character issues. But you go in here and you start giving a score, with 10 being highest. Now, in our ranking system, what we encourage you to do is to only do 2 10s, no more than 3 9s, and 3 8s, so that you can begin to get a measurement beyond giving everyone 10s, all 9s, all 8s, etc. But you begin to discover about the candidate, and we ask you to do this, to rate yourself first, and maybe rate your favorite elected official from history or the past, and how they might rate. So you get some baseline scoring. And then, let's say if we were looking at a race between two candidates that you're investigating, you could write their name here, write the office that they're in, and you begin to go through and you rate these candidates, both looking at their policy and at their character. And so this will help you prepare to think through these candidates. Now, not every candidate is going to have something that they want, or that they're an expert in that area. So maybe they're higher in some and lower, but you're starting to think logically through what candidate is going to represent your values the best. And so you're going to take the number of races that you would like to go through, and you begin to rate them and think through them. Remember, none of the candidates walk on water. We're all sinners saved by God's grace, and so we have to pick the lesser of two evils. This is not to say that all candidates are evil. It's the idea of we're all fallen human beings. So check out this, when Jesus is not on the ballot. That could be, you can download it and print it off. So once you've done all your scoring of the candidates, you're going to analyze the scores in the booklet. You may want to check out, we've put up here some different rating systems of other groups like iVoter Guide, Pastor's Picks, We Believe We Vote, Conservative Ladies of Washington, and just this takes you to VoteWa, which is your basically your voter pamphlet, and so you can check that out. It'll be just something that you can research and kind of say, okay, where were other people at? And I just want to caution us. I think oftentimes as conservatives, we're very passionate, but at times we may go overboard. We shouldn't be doing threats. We shouldn't be using intimidation. We should have robust dialogue that speaks both truth, and we do it in a compassionate way. And then you're going to pray and ask God to give you some wisdom over how you're going to vote, and then you'll end up turning in your ballot. So one of the things we're encouraging all of our families to do, and neighbors, is to have a voting party this year. And what a voting party is where you bring people together. Of course, if everyone's done this little booklet, you're going to have some great time to have dialogue over the candidates, but you're going to sit down and discuss what's on the ballot. And so if you're going to do this, it's going to take a little bit of planning. You're going to have to plan the date, the time, where you're going to have, what guests you're going to invite. I like to say, if anyone's on your Christmas list and they live in Washington State, these are the people we should be going after and saying, hey, did you vote? We used to show up at polls and we received a little sticker that talked about, hey, I voted, and that would kind of be a natural reminder. But oftentimes, now that we do it in our homes, we forget. So find other people, guests, those 20-year-olds, those 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, whoever, that may not remember to vote. So put them down as a guest and think about the food, and do your candidate research. And then we give you an outline. You can start with, starting out with food, opening remarks, opening a prayer, pledge allegiance, and then lay out some ground rules for the debate. It needs to be healthy. It needs to be something that really builds everyone up, and we listen to each other's perspective. So a Bible verse, some Bible verses to ponder, and then your candidate discussion. So helping people understand how to fill out the ballot. We give you a sample prayer, a little flag here in case you don't have one at your home and you want to pledge allegiance, and a Bible verse to ponder. So just it lays it out for you what the voting process is in Washington State. Again, you're going to see these things to discuss, the policy and the character that's there. And so you can check that out as you go. So then once you have it all kind of put together, you're going to invite your guest and have a time, what we're calling a voting party. And then and make sure that those ballots are turned in. Now, if you're a church or a small business owner and you want information on how to legally ballot harvest, I want to encourage you to fill out this form or give us a call at FPIW. We want to make sure that you are empowered to do that. It's legal in the state of Washington if we do it the right way. And so we want to encourage you to do that. And finally, host an election night party, have a night of celebration, and be involved. So this is all at fpiw.org. And want to remind you that as we get ready for the primary, ballots are going to be coming out soon. Start thinking about hosting a voting party. Start thinking about researching the candidates and finding different venues to meet these candidates. It's really important that you get to know each and every person that you're voting on. And I would say this, I would encourage you to listen to both sides. I would encourage you to think through what each strength and weakness of each candidate is. And then I would encourage you to influence others. So I hope that was helpful today. We're going to try to do this a couple times throughout this primary just to get people out voting, thinking. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at FPIW. And we're just excited that this primary is coming up and that we're going to get some great candidates coming through. And then we'll have the general election in November. So I hope that was helpful. Again, check out our website at fpiw.org. And there's a lot of resources that are free on there to help you make it through the primary. So God bless, and I hope you have a great day.